Well, hey you guys, welcome to Touchbase Thursday. This is December 10th, 2020, as we lead up to Christmas and as we're making all sorts of decisions and changes and flexing with what we're doing, in a sense, strategically at Quest. But we just want to make sure that you're up to date. So if you hadn't heard before, but need to hear now, we have suspended our in-person services until the 1st of January. And so that means the next few weeks we will not be at the building or on Christmas Eve or the Sunday after Christmas. We will not be in the building. Doesn't mean we're not meeting. It doesn't mean that things don't continue, that our lives, our walk with Christ, our community, our connections, all that continues. So this is really a relatively, in some ways, small, though tremendously disappointing for this to happen. But we just felt like with the things that were happening inside of Quest, we had numerous people, including myself, who became down positive with the virus, but also trying to make sure that we have integrity with our congregation and with the community by way of gathering, because the numbers are way up both in our community and across the nation. This past week has been a very, very deadly time in our country and with the virus. So there have been 10,000 or so who have passed away. It's been a really difficult week. And so I think that we ought to be praying for those who are going through this, those who are suffering from it, those who have passed away, and those who obviously live on with people who have passed away and dealing with that. So we need to be praying for them. But so it's difficult, it's disappointing that we have to make some changes, but it really doesn't stop us from doing the ministry, of doing what He's called us to do. And so, as we've said before, I want to encourage us all to spend time, significant time, reflecting on this, of really seeking the Lord, seeking God in the midst of all this, understanding the pain and the challenge that people are going through, both Christians and non-Christians. But for those who don't know the Lord and don't have much hope, I pray that it seems to be they're a lot like what Jesus talked about back in Matthew chapter 9, that they're harassed and helpless like sheep without a shepherd. And He had compassion on them. And He asked us to pray earnestly to raise up workers to go into the harvest that He's created, and to be able to harvest people, care for people, because they're harassed and helpless, right? And so He says, how can you enter into caring for these people, understanding, being compassionate, giving hope, giving answers when life seems to have gone kind of south. And so I just want to encourage you to keep praying, keep connected with Advent Conspiracy, and all that we're doing there. I pray that you would continue to engage that we'd be able to help these people around the world with some significant needs. And the last thing I've been thinking about is the fact that in 2 Corinthians chapter 2, it talks about the reality that God always leads us in His victory and being a fragrance of Him among people, that we'd be the aroma of Christ. And so in the midst of a crazy world, that we would live sound lives of compassionate love for people, knowing that God is still in control and we can trust Him with all that's going on. And so we'll be back together physically, hopefully, right, in January. But it really doesn't matter in a sense. Let's stay together as His people, committed to each other, and loving those who are not among us, loving those in the community, our neighbors. That's the basic call, isn't it? Jesus said these are the greatest commandments: to love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, and to love your neighbor as yourself, as if he were you, to love them that kind of way, see them, care for them, engage them. But the gospel of God's creation, fallen and broken, and being redeemed by the death and the resurrection of Christ. And so as we head into Christmas, we're going to be celebrating His coming, His first coming. We're looking forward to His second coming. We also celebrate His third coming. The third coming is that of Him coming into each one of us. at a heart level, a relational level. So, you guys, we're looking forward to the weeks ahead. We're going to stay in touch. We're going to stay enthusiastic. We're going to stay committed to the goodness of what God is doing and what He's all about. Okay? All right. We'll look forward to seeing you this weekend, okay? All right. Take care.